Page 23, our special waltz. On page 22, they're talking about an interval of a seventh. They say measuring them. I don't care how you measure. I've already told you how to do intervals, and that applies to any interval. However, I think we've pretty much gone through all of the intervals that are under 8, and probably did 8. So just a little bit about intervals. Different intervals have different sounds to them. Some are pleasant, some are not so pleasant, some are edgy. And so these composers and arrangers, when they're composing music, sometimes they want a pleasant sound, sometimes they want an edgy sound. Now, they can use intervals to help them do that. Because a second, it's a very edgy interval. It's okay, but a third, that's a pleasant interval. Thirds are okay. Not like seconds. There you go. Ooh. A fourth is okay. It's not too edgy. It's sort of okay. Sounds a little weird, but it's okay. A fifth, again, sounds okay, but it's just a little empty. But it's okay. A sixth, again, a sixth is okay. Not too bad. A seventh, well, it's like a second. So it's like, what? Well, it depends on the sound that the composer or arranger is after. And seconds and sevenths are related. Just a little bit of music theory. Just a little, not much. Remember the magic number 9. Okay? 9, that's what we're after. 9. If I take an interval, a second, and I put the C on top, I turn the interval over. I invert it. I turn it into that. Well, that's a second, and that's a seventh. 2 and 7 are 9. See, I can take any interval and turn it over, and if I subtract the number from 9, that's going to be the new interval. So a 2 becomes a seventh. 2 and 7 are 9. A 3, see on top here, a 3 becomes a 6. 6 and 3 are 9. A 4, if I turn it over here, a 4 and a 5, that's a ninth. A fourth and a fifth, the intervals. 4 and 5 equal 9. That's what I'm trying to say. And then a 5 and a 4, and then it's a 6 and a 3. They all equal 9. A 7 and a 2. So you take the inverse of the interval, turn it over, and if you'll subtract that number from 9, that gives you the new interval. I'm just talking within an eighth, within an octave here. Don't get way out here and think, okay, I'm going to turn this over, because that doesn't work, because that's just theory. It's strictly within an octave or an interval. But it's something to keep in mind, and if you're into writing music or arranging or whatever, keep in mind which interval you want to use, and the interval and its inversion both are going to sound about the same. Edginess. A 2 and a 7, both are edgy. Well, they're related. They're inverse of each other. A 3 and a 6 are okay. A 4 and a 5 are okay. See, they're just inverse of each other. Keep it in mind. Let's talk this waltz thing. Look it over. It's a page long. Treble, bass, clef. No sharps or flats in the key signature. It's in the key of C major. 3/4 time signature. Well, it's a waltz. We would expect that. Let's take it one hand at a time. Right hand, you're starting here. First 3 notes are here. That puts the hand here. So 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Third measure, reach up just a little bit. We changed hand positions. Thumb comes down. Second line. You get the idea? Now you finish in the second line here. And then going on the third line, it's another E. So we got like 3 E's in a row. The 2 E's at the end of the second line, and the E in the third line. That's 3 total. Add them up. I don't know. but they're repeated notes. So we're just changing hand positions on repeated notes. We do that. So I'm ending the second line with a thumb, but the third line I'm going to use second finger on that same note. That's okay. We do it again. Okay. Last line. We're here. Now they scratch up a fourth finger here. That puts us in position. Here. Left hand. Let's see what it's got. 1-5. That's what it's doing until the last measure of the first line, then the little finger comes down here. Second. Here. And then the second line, you're here. That's the left hand. So put them together. What do we get? Well, here, and I'll hesitate at first, but that's okay. I don't care. It's just here. And again. See, it doesn't sound quite right. Well, sorry. Now come down. So I go through the whole thing and I put the hands together. And then I'll go back over it just a few measures or a line at a time or whatever. It's up to me. And I'll work out the hesitations. No hesitations at all. And hopefully you'll get to where you can play this without looking at the keyboard eventually. Where going from the second line to the third line, you can do that without looking. And in the last line, when you're coming to the 4 for the 8th notes, you can do that without looking eventually. And in the left hand, you want to be able to do this without looking too. Eventually. Something to work for. Something to work toward. I don't know. Never mind. Then once I get rid of the hesitations, I add the articulation, and this is very connected. They have slurs marked, but they don't have slurs marked over repeated notes. I don't know why, they just don't. But in my opinion, I'm going to just connect everything for the phrase. So the question is, where's the phrase? And I play through it quickly and listen to the melody. What sounds like a thought? Different ways of interpreting that. I could say every measure is a thought. Lift up, lift up, and connect that. Lift up, lift up. So there, it's every 2 measures is a phrase. So how do you want to interpret it? Because I could say that whole first line is a phrase. And then lift up. So I could do that. The second line, it looks like every 2 measures is a phrase. My point is I want to connect it as best I can, but I'm going to lift up for the phrasing. However, it's like taking a breath. The left hand, I'm just going to play it. I'm going to pretend I can connect it. I can't, but I'm going to pretend. There's no short staccatos in here anywhere is the point. You do have an accent occasionally, like at the end of the first line. Play a little louder. And at the end of the third line, you get an accent. Don't know why, because there's a natural accent on that note anyway. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So you'd have a natural accent anyway, but this accent is stronger than the natural. You actually make it an accent. The natural accents, you just feel them. Then the dynamics applies to the melody, which is the right hand. Soft, you got the hairpin, that arrow, you're going to go up to loud, the last measure. Well, you have to plan it out because there's 4 measures there. If you don't plan it out, you'll be loud by the second measure. It's too soon. So the first measure, I'm soft. Second measure, I'm just a hair louder, a little louder. Now I'm loud. That accented note will make that one note very loud. I don't know whether we need that or not, but that's second line, come down a little bit to moderately loud. And then in the third line, you do the same thing again. Soft, a little louder. You get the idea. And the last 2 measures, you're starting at sort of loud and come down to soft. They don't tell you how much to come down. I'm saying soft because it's the end of the piece. So we just kind of resolve it. We'll come down to soft. Yeah. The left hand needs to stay out of the way. Light. All the way through. The left hand, you have to be careful because it's too easy for it to overpower the right. Did it get loud? No, keep it out of the way. As far as the speed goes, in the middle. Slow might be this. So the 1, 2, 3, are you asleep yet? Fast would be that. And there are fast waltzes, yeah. Slow waltzes and fast waltzes and in-between waltz. This is an in-between waltz. The fermata at the end, you just hold on to that as long as it feels right. See, the top staff has the fermata on that. Well, it's the bottom staff. It's the smaller note value that controls the fermata. So that's the lower staff here, the quarter note, because that's smaller than a half note. It's less time. So it's that quarter note that's going to determine how long you hold it out. The right hand just holds out as long as it needs to stay with the left hand. It's the left hand controls how long here. So it's here. And then when you're ready, you let up together. It gets a bit tricky sometimes when you have to have fermatas in both staves, but when you have different note values and say, okay, well, how long am I holding it and when and where? And on which beat am I holding it? Well, take the smaller value, the smallest involved, and that's going to be your control. Here's the left hand, it's a quarter note. And it's on the second beat, so we're holding the second beat out. The other staff is just holding to stay with it. Now let's play this together slowly and check the notes and the rhythms. I'm not doing the dynamics. We're not doing louds and softs because we're not performing it. Just notes and rhythms. I'll give us 3 counts. You should play the same note I'm playing when I play it. And this is after you can play it at least slowly with no hesitations. Don't learn it in the play with me. That's wrong. You learn it first and check it in the play with me. 1, ready, go.